DOZHATOLDYA.COM.
Not in this America.
No.
All right, man. I had to take us back a little bit, man, to start the show off because, I had just been thinking about the music and the rap music that we came up in. Even though it was street, a lot of folks be like, man, they was talking nasty back then, especially in Florida. Florida music always been a little nasty and ratchet. So it's hard for me to all the way shun the music that's out right now and just be like, ooh, Sexy Red. Cause the ladies, it's the ladies' turn right now, man. And a female rap it's funny, man. It's different. Not that it's different. It's actually the same, but it's different to feel the way that you feel like when you get older. You kind of be like, oh, why is she talking that way? Or like, why I'm saying like, why do they refer to niggas the way they say? I'm sorry to even say that word, but the way they be saying it just be like it'd be like, oh, we, what, like, and I was talking with Swedes the other day. I know I'm just kind of getting right into it, but I was talking to Swedes the other day, and he was just like, yeah, it was one of them Dozha moments, because he was like, Dozha, like, this shit, these new, what I'm saying, new dudes are trash, new dudes was whack, and I was just like, I stuck around for a good minute. I know a lot of folks didn't really leave this phase of music, back in our days when all that good down south Outcasts and Goody Mob, like that, a lot of folks didn't really UGK, and when a lot of our I would say idols and let Swedes always tell it the fly, player fly. Mm-hmm. And we go back and forth because I never really all the way been on the fly, but I do respect the way in Georgia, like I respect the fan base was strong or whatever. Like I said, a lot of folks never really left that era, and that's the beauty also in music because you could always have your selection and kind of just have your own playlist now, but y'all, and then we don't have to have no CDs. We basically got it all in the palm of our hands, just like these kids got, the world in the palm of their hands. And it just sets up for an interesting debate that I've, chose to kind of keep up for the last 10 years as far as like, yeah, man, this rap, you know what I'm saying? Just hip hop and I'm blessed to have a platform now I could kind of debate it every week and introduce people to new music and new vibes and keep people updated, all while also just talking with my friends and keeping my friends updated, man. And that's what the Dozha podcast is all about. I would like to welcome everybody to the Dozha podcast.
While y'all was doing fine, I was doing time, just praying for this. Locked up, make a plan for this.
Yeah, okay, what's up?
Shut up.
It's the Dozha podcast, number 83, man, with special guest Mr. C's, man. You Mr. C's right now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you get an intro and everything else, but I'm gonna start off with my intro. I got Mr. C's in the building, man.
What's happening?
And we go back from 1999, 2000, freshman year, Patty Foot on FAMU's campus.
Foot.
Right? FAMU's campus.
Yes, sir.
Freshman year. I came a semester late, but when I'm saying one thing about this guy right here that I'm gonna just intro him in, one of the most genuine, just like an overall nice guy, like just like I don't know no bad things that anybody have ever said about him. He comes in the room with a Kool-Aid smile, kind of like Magic Johnson type smile, man. Just like real big smile. Got the Joker cheeks, and man, you just always laugh, man. I mean, just always, have a good time when you're around this guy, whatever. And the waves, bro, the bro used to have the do-rag, like, no saying, oh, like, back in this day,
100%.
he used to have the do-rag on all the time because of the waves, boy. I was like, boy, that's why they called you C's, boy, because you got the C's in your head. That boy got the waves in his head, man. But yeah, I want to intro my dear friend, man, Calvin, man. Don't say I go way back, and it turns out, don't say, that you actually related to one of my other high school friends. So it's like, man, I thank God for putting me in the path to be, around you and what you got going on. And I thank you also for coming and being a part of the show, man, today. So let's get into it, man. Dozha Podcast, man. Calvin Willis.
Man, my pleasure, man. Dame, thank you, man, for inviting me on, bro. Like you said, we go way back, man. You always been a solid dude about your business, about your hustle, you know what I mean? Always a good friend, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a blessing for me to be here sitting next to you, man, and you sharing your platform to bring me on, man. I really appreciate it, man. I'm grateful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on, let me see what's going on. I think your mic had kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, I think your mic had kind of went out. Let me get you right. How you sound now?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, that's way better. That's way better. I thought I had to turn you up. But yes, sir, man. Thank you for once again. We're gonna get that out the way. But let's talk about it, man, because Georgia boy,
Yep.
and you got like you just got a big family, man. You got, what I'm saying, if they're just watching your little brother, I want to talk about all that, kind of get all that in a nutshell, like early, like let these folks know, when did you first fall in love with the music, like as far as, and what type of music was it? Because I know that you want to let the folks know that, you have a gospel song out. Absolutely. That they can go stream right now. He's, you know what I'm saying? He actually do this too. But, let's talk about it.
Man, let's get into it, man. So early on, my first influence was church. You know what I'm saying? And my mother would have us sitting there all the time. Like, I'm talking about a few days a week, Sunday. I remember falling in love with music because the band would be so live at church, man.
Yeah.
Like the drums, the organs, the keyboard, the piano, everybody, the horns. I'm talking about all these musicians. So I'm just sitting there as a kid just watching. And I was drawn to the drums early on. Like, that was my first love, my instrument that I was drawn to the drums. I played the drums. I remember 5 years old running up on the drum in the middle of service trying to take the stick from her so I could get on the set, man, and play.
Yeah, I wanted to play the drums too, man. Pops made me take guitar lessons, and at first I was mad, but later on I kind of regret that I didn't, take that, because drums is just it was a lot. The set was big.
Man, and I feel you on that. I tell you a true story, man. I love the drum so much, so I got a chance to play at church. Here, you know what I'm saying? That developed my ear for music, songwriting, all of that. And from there, I played as a teenager, and but you'd be surprised, man. Growing up, you know what I'm saying, back in the 80s and 90s, I fell in love with the drums at about 5 or 6 years old. But my parents at the time, we lived in the projects, you know what I mean? We lived in Perry homes, you know what I mean? My mother and father couldn't afford to buy me a full drum set.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So I wanted to be in the band and all that, and I wanted to
So therefore you want to go to church more just to get the chance to even play.
To even play. Exactly. So You know what I mean? So it's like, you want to go to church to play. That's why you be so anxious to play. Like, hey, I got to go ahead. And I remember my mother bought me a drum pad. And I was playing on that, so I never really joined the band. I never really got a chance to tap all the way in like I wanted, except for at church. And then, man, it wasn't until I was 21 years old, on my 21st birthday in Tallahassee, while we was at FAMU, that I bought my first drum set.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just a story, you know what I mean? But my parents, they always pushed us, and I think as the other siblings got older, they had more money, they started doing better, so they was able to buy more things and push, you know what I'm saying, that. So they kind of, later on, all of that came together. But man, just going to church, hearing all of that. And so
you wasn't in the choir at all?
Yeah, I did sing in the choir, the praise team. I did that even from when I became a teenager and even afterwards. We went to a small church, so you had to do some of everything. Run the sound, you do a little bit of this, you do the audio, video, you do a little bit of everything, you know what I'm saying? So we at a family, smaller church, so I got a chance to really learn work ethic and learn a lot, so I just attribute that, God for giving me any kind of inclination toward music. And then my brother, he came along and he started playing the guitar. And he taught us, he's self-taught, you know what I mean? He taught himself how to play the guitar.
And I know at certain times it's like you'll see. I know for me, my brother had a DJ set, right? And at certain times it's like, oh, I want you to DJ. You're trying to make me DJ, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want to like do what you doing, or the opposite. Or he'd be like, don't do what I'm doing. As far as when he started rapping, and then I end up kind of doing what he was doing. So you know how the little brother, big brother dynamic is, and the influence. But if it's in you, it's in you. Mm-hmm. And your brother is a bona fide musician. Like he's the next level. And if you telling me self-taught, and again you had to kind of get your drum set, vicariously through church and kind of just like only having limited time to work on something, but still wanting it so bad that you kind of, go at it with all vitriol. So, yeah, man, little bro was in Tallahassee for a minute, like, so he was working on the music. Then did you think that he would kind of turn into the musician that he was, born to turn into, I guess?
Man, I thought he always had the passion for it. And my brother is Jimmy Cravity, and that's his professional name. His name is Maurice Willis, but professionally known as Jimmy Cravity. He was always like, when he went after something, he would always put his all into it. So even as you didn't have to tell him to go practice his guitar. Like he would practice on his own for hours at the house, in the room. So I knew he was serious about it. So I knew it would definitely pay off. Anytime you practice like that, I knew it would pay off. So when he came to Tallahassee, by that time he was a teenager. Well, 13, 14, we had them boys in Tallahassee at the Moon. They'll tell you them stories when you bring them on. I ain't gonna tell their story for them, but we were Wi-Fi lit back then, man. We had them boys, they we showed them a good time. They came to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he brought his guitar with him. He went to the thrift store, bought music, bought instruments, and he would always practice wherever he goes. So quite naturally, I supported whatever he wanted to do as a big brother. You just want to support whatever he got going on. So I bought him his first guitar pedal. You know what I mean? He gave me his first acoustic guitar. So it's like, that love for music has always been there. So it's time we be at the house, I'm on the drums, he on the guitar. Yeah. I'm on the drums, he on the piano. And we just jam out, you know what I mean? Just vibe. So when he came, I knew he was going to go far. I knew he was going to do great things, you know what I'm saying, because of the consistency and the work ethic. Definitely.
And it's not easy, but when you have that dedication and like for me, you just got to be kind of dedicated to it, man. And it kind of gives back too, in little way, a lot of different ways. Like you said, it kind of gave you the through God's blessing, gave you a talent a talent that you had, blessed you with a talent. You was able to be self-taught, and then find just the work ethic to want to learn something, and that goes a long way to almost every walk in life. Like just wanting to complete what you set yourself out to do, and later on graduate, and then just being FAMU alumni, just running around just with a whole bunch of great friends, man. What I'm saying? Like, how did that evolve? Let's talk about just the evolvement of college and all. This particular episode, we talking a lot on relationships. So, you don't really have to delve too deep into your personal life as far as, but I do want to highlight the fact that you are a husband.
Yeah.
And black love needs good representation every now and then.
Absolutely.
So if you don't mind, on that end, probably ask you a few questions on that. So graduating from FAMU, moving back to the A, like how was that? Like, what
Man, it was. Can I first I'm gonna bring it back. Can I take them back a little bit though from us?
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta
okay,
give 'em a
let's
little
talk
history.
about.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you brought up the foot, it's like we got there in '99.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You from Jacksonville, Duval.
Yeah.
Duval.
Yeah, we
You know what I'm saying? So what really, man, drew us together, like I was saying, is because Atlanta people and Jacksonville, we got a hustler mentality. We got a hustler spirit.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurial spirit. You know what I'm saying? So even as in the foot, man, me, Sweezy, and Said was roommates. So then, okay,
me and Shed went to high school. We done like we've been brothers since middle school. Renaud as well, and we still talk to this day, a lot. But that's okay. Let's
so that y'all crew, our crew. So we hung real tight, man. We was at the Patty Foot, man. I used to be in the Patty Foot in their room spending the night. Cause we were doing like y'all went from burning like y'all had the CD business on campus. So y'all had, remember back in the day. So these boys been in music, CD business, love mixes, man, making real money.
Yeah,
like I'm saying, like,
selling CDs,
making real money, legit
putting together music, finding new music. They had the Nas album like before it came out. Them boys had the Chronic 2000 before it came out. So some may call it bootlegging. But a lot of that, formulated the producing that I still do to this day. So, yeah, I mean, let's talk about it like that. And that was freshman year.
That's on freshman year. Like, we come in there, boy, I want a hustler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we got to get it from day one.
And because one of us is selling CDs,
you got to go get it.
Because, see, you say next door, and it's like if they knocking on our door for whatever they'll say, then y'all better have some snacks next door or something to sell.
So, me and Sweezy had the snack shop. You know what I mean? I'm in Gibbs, they in Pattyfoot. We all night spades, everything, staying up all night, but we hanging tough, making money, getting our work done at the same time. I was a barber, cutting hair. So, man, I'm talking about all of that work ethic came from being galvanized at FAMU with a sense of family. Let's talk, like, we had a whole sense of family with just our different crews that hung together. So you got, hey, man, anything they need, we got it, whatever. We work together on different things. We were selling everything, man. We would sell water to a well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, bro, we had the flowers on things. We had the flowers at Valentine's Day. We selling everything.
With the love mix. The flowers with the love mix. Man, you put together the package, man.
We had, so that's where, I feel like the business of being an entrepreneur, like all that was cultivated.
Yeah.
During that period of time. You know what I'm saying? And just the whole family of, man, we would do we threw our own parties. You know what I'm saying? We brought real artists down. We brought the Oomp Camp down. You know what I'm saying? We brought, we would do our own events and everything. And, we
still do it to this day. Shout out to Friends of Fam.
Friends of Fam. Now Rashad is doing Friends of Fam, where he started a whole organization, nonprofit, giving back to FAMU freshmen, incoming freshmen. So, and still working with the same people that we started with.
Yeah.
Like, still working with the same friends. And that's the loyalty, man, that we learned at FAM, being there, having to learn to become adults. You coming from high school, being dependent to independent.
Right.
So we learned all of that there. We depended on each other. And, we here today. You know what I mean? So that caused us to evolve into the people that we are today.
Damn, man. Excuse me. Yeah, man. Yes, man. You got me thinking, because I was like, yeah, like, it's a lot of us too. It's a over 20-year brotherhood, because I talk to Swedes every other day, and we don't stay, no matter kind of where we at. It's still kind of that brotherhood, because whether or not I'm around with you, with Swedes, I'll say I just seen Rocco when I went out there to the thing, and his birthday is, matter of fact, coming up. Our birthday like 2 days apart. This time a year, it's always a very exciting thing because with homecoming I get a chance to run into a lot of y'all. And again, the hustle kind of bounces off, and the motivation from the hustle bounces off. Like I've always been amazed by your brother's talent, and then I didn't even know that you sung, and then you drop your track, but of course you also have your platform in the church, and you preach, right?
Yeah.
So you'll have your congregation, and just seeing what you it's kind of like a parallel, I would say. It's not necessarily I'm saying that this is sort of me building my pulpit in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I watched the parallels, and I'm impressed, and I've always been, but also inspired when I watch you, maintain your family, your marriage, your hustle, your your corporate situation. Hell, got inventive, I forgot about the belts. I ain't really talk about the belts, Like I said, man, it's like so this ain't your first rodeo as far as doing any of this whatsoever, even though most folks kind of won't really like, I ain't saying most folks won't know, but for those that don't know, but that's not really something that you've never been that guy to kind of like just put it out there that you do all these things. You just do them.
Yeah. I want to, and you know what? I want to get better at putting it out there. I feel like that's the next step.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you learn how to do all these things, but the next step is marketing, PR. You know what I mean? Public relations, but I feel like, and this might just be the perfectionist in me or whatever, just wanting stuff to be so A1 tight, top notch before you present it in a way. But I kind of got to get out of that habit. But I guess basically I'm saying I want to get to the point to where all of these things are put on a global scale in order to scale up. So, you know what I mean? But you perfect your craft in secret. You know what I mean? You perfect your craft step by step.
Yeah. And through the network and the inspiration of watching, your brothers, that's doing similar things. Dang, man, we have been throwing these parties. We had like we get wild, but in a good, responsible way, like I would say, like because a lot of us. Like we done had drunk stories, because we done did all that, like in the dorm rooms. So we had our chance to wild out in the dorm rooms, but then kind of turned into a lot of different businesses that has sprouted out. Yeah, shout out to the Malip.
Shout out to the Malip,
aka the original my original music plugs, and how we started the plug is because Caleb sold all the CDs up here and up here on the West End. And I mean, he told me he had like everybody's CD, and I was selling my own CDs, but it was like, next thing you know, we got all the official mixtapes that's coming out of Atlanta. Like, and that's building, that's cultivating. Yeah. We bringing the hip hop style, New York, from the way New York did it. All we did was kind of like watch how. It's like I took a trip to New York like in middle school sometime, but I really wasn't. I don't know. I have to say, because my brother have been selling some mixtapes in middle school, so I have been doing this my whole life, I would say, I guess. But again, I didn't really say Justin start selling CDs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Caleb sell CDs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I kind of asked my brother Shed to come back and sell CDs, but he already had a roommate, and they sold CDs together when I came, to college. So again, it's hip hop and into entrepreneurial, making money from it was always there. Like I've been doing this since high school, and then whether we throwing parties, like I didn't really even realize that. Sometimes I don't realize that Justin DJs still, like, because he's just my friend, so it just be like, oh yeah, that is Sweezy. And he is nice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he shouted
like,
with it.
Yeah. So and like with Sweezy, I came back to Tallahassee and Sweezy had the dreads. Boy, I was like, wait a minute, boy, y'all boys is the boys. Like y'all like was throwing parties like in the Atlanta parties. We already know that in Tallahassee, the Atlanta club parties, And I don't know if the whole Duval, like y'all, like, because we do got Mike Ben, you know, there's a couple of Duval affiliates that, you know, merged into the Atlanta. But I would just like to say I appreciate all my Atlanta club members, because I've always been an honorary member of the Atlanta club, even though I've been from Jacksonville. Because again, like he said, that camaraderie and brotherhood was built from the Pattyfoot, Gibbs, FAMU, and we've learned and evolved ever since then to this. You know, DOZHATOLDYA, to, you know, Friends of Fam, to, again, the pulpit, and your congregation. Let's talk about it. Do you do live? Do you do your sermons live, or do any kind of like?
I do. So what it is, I am a pastor. I got ordained in 2012. I don't pastor a church in a traditional way right now. The Lord is really leading me to start a ministry where we focus on families, the healing and strengthening of families. So while I do get invited to preach at different churches, we did back in 2017, we did, which you're recalling, we did step out and start a church that the Lord allowed us to start, Embassy West. But since then, we have transitioned into, the Lord led me to more like, okay, I need to be a ministry right now, because I like boots on the ground with something specific, a specific target, which is families, because our families are in trouble. You know what I mean? So that's why I think he's sending me with the solution, at least one of the solutions. You know, it's a lot of people out there. It's got a lot of great things going on. But one of them, like I said, if you deal with the family, then you deal with a lot of other problems all at once.
Yeah.
So that's the foundation. Really want to focus on right now. So we
spiritual being, us, and then your family. So every now and then you kind of just find it in your heart to talk to the people.
Yeah, just go out there, preach, because you know what I mean. I'm always preach. I'm always ministry. Serving people has always been in me, even since fam. Like even at fam, we would have Sunday dinners. You know what I mean. We would have people over, get people rides back from Tallahassee to Atlanta. That's so serving other people has always been there. So now it's just evolved into having a family, a wife, some kids. You know what I'm saying? Friends and specific ministry to help the community. So now
you got a beautiful family too, man.
Thank you, bro.
Congratulations, man. How many years?
11 years.
11 years, man. 11 years, man. And
God is great.
Not easy at all. Obviously, later on in the show, during the toxic hour, we'll probably talk about a lot more of records, but I gotta focus in on this wholesome energy that you got, man. With this 11 years, like, I know it's rocky, but I know that's what you kind of sign up for when you step into. We was just talking about this. Me and Swedes was talking about this yesterday. It's like he asked, "Do I think men are living up to their potential when it comes to relationships? Are we really living up to our potential as kings and as leaders in our community and in our family?" I feel like the narrative doesn't get it right completely, that we were fed as far as the black man is not a part of the home. I was raised by a black man, but I wasn't raised in a two-family home, and I've always envied that, and I've always wanted to somehow supply that to my best ability, right? And I know a lot of men may kind of sought after that kind of early on, and things kind of change, within the relationship. So I'm not really trying to single anybody out or really judge anybody who wasn't blessed enough with the strength to endure what a relationship kind of can take you through, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you just signed a different contract when the kids become involved.
Yeah, buddy.
Like it does change a little bit, but I feel like that's where we came from. I would say as when the generation, but I feel like that has been completely blurred now in our community now. So to hear you talk about the family structure and kind of your calling of ministering to families, you absolutely right. That's kind of a thing that I don't really. I yearn for that. I respect it. I honor it, and I don't know if the honor is completely there anymore. On just looking at that structure of a man. I'm saying a woman, family, in 2024, and like I said, I could keep talking with them and blow your mind because I also don't see that as the only family structure now either. And I also, even though the conversation can kind of get blurred in that perspective, I understand and respect all family structures, as long as they are healthy family structures. So, but I want to honor your family structure because you say 11 years, Atlanta. Like you from Atlanta.
From here.
You from here,
So.
went to fam, and been married 11 years. I'm only just saying that because, it's a lot out there, man. There's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you that don't think that it's possible or don't see that, here's a representation of it. And again, bro, it's honor and congratulations, bro.
Thank you,
So,
bro.
how do you feel like with the music? Do you allow your kids to listen to hip hop?
I have to select people, select artists. And clean,
What's up, pretty?
Clean artists. What's up, everybody online watching? I see a few people over in the chat saying, "What's up, C? What's up, everybody? What's going on?" Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.
See a few shout outs and stuff. What's happening?
Yeah. So my bad. I got
Nah,
thrown
you
on
good.
it.
So yeah, man, I don't let them listen to everybody. I mean, this music today, like you said, man, it's too much killing, too much.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of killing and killing for no reason and just nobody like in the music. So much depression. Is anybody's life worth anything?
Right.
So I can't let them listen to it. I discourage them from listening to it.
So
but the art, like you said earlier, the artists from our day, our generation, like people who still putting out quality music, I will let them listen to it with me in turn, and the select songs that I do. But for the most part, nah, my kids love Michael Jackson. My son love Michael Jackson still. You'd be surprised, like he love Michael Jackson.
I mean, why not? Like,
right? You know what I'm saying? It's Mike.
why not? Hold on. I still got music going.
My daughter love rap. She love a lot of rap though. She like rap and R&B. She love all kind of music. Her ear is crazy.
And your I wouldn't say your brother does necessarily just gospel or just rock. He kind of just
inspiration.
Yeah.
Just kind of like. Yeah.
So is it any music from him?
Yeah, he got a whole album he just put out called The Last Amen. So if y'all check it out on Tidal, Spotify, everywhere music is streaming. It just came out. I did some writing on his first album, Heaven. I helped out with a couple of songs on there. And look, we got some more music coming soon. He and I got some collaborations coming soon. And but yeah, he's doing his thing.
So you still active, man. You still active out here, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got a couple albums coming for y'all. It's coming. Trust me. And I'll be so happy when I could say like, Dion, we ain't coming no more.
Yeah.
We gonna be here. We here, baby.
My brother Shed, I'm not talking like you don't know Shed. Shed plays gospel, but it's kind of like a hip hop gospel.
Mm-hmm.
A mixtape, positive, kind of we call it positive, a Sunday morning mixtape, but we call it just positive music. And on Sundays, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, y'all check it out right here on DOZHATOLDYA Radio. But it kind of showed a whole different lane of the same, because the music is so good, it throws you off. Because it sounds like it's a guy that's going to sound like Future. It's a guy that's going to sound like Thug. They're going to they knew, they have ops, but they ops are the, the demonic images that they try to feed in media, you know. So hearing it like that, and then there being you don't really have, you can't really fight the fact that it's good and the quality of the music. Like at first you kind of get thrown off because of how non-secular it sounds, but again the message is overwhelmingly, you know, blatantly, hey, this is my lifestyle, you know, take it, you know, or leave it, but this is, you know, they are unapologetically spiritual and religious with the music, but it's still like jacking beats and taking beats from now. Yeah. So I'm all for it. As I've been a person that's been on record to say I'm not really a gospel listener though. I've never really kind of been into the gospel, I guess because of the way it was always presented. And now that he presented me a lane, an opportunity, you know, to enjoy it, I kind of like it warmed me up into it. How do you feel about like that type of rap? Like if you know, versus, because you got a voice, so you know what I'm saying, but you also, you know, listen to Cass, and they, you know, and you, like, so I'm not really just trying to paint your music to be a certain type of way. So would you consider your music like a more new positive type?
Yeah, I would consider my music like that, in that same wave. Just trying to bring the message to the streets and just trying to package it in a way where the streets can accept it. And I feel like I have two different sounds. One that's for like the person in church, in the presence of God, in that moment where it's peace and it's joy and all of that. And then I got another sound that's still for the streets in terms of bringing that message to the streets, which when doing that, you hit a good point. The next wave you're going to see, which is already happening, is the merger of the trap, hip hop, rap sound with gospel, which I got a whole album with that in mind. You know what I mean? And you're seeing it right now with artists like Killer Mike, who just did a whole album with that whole sound and went on and is now on tour with that whole theme. And so
I mean, and Lecrae is very
absolutely Lecrae. Church Clothes, all the volumes of Church Clothes, 1K for you. Yeah, his whole wave, like that's why it's happening with these artists now. And I feel like I can predict what is the like things that are gonna happen in the culture. Yeah, like because even when like I was telling people in 2016, somewhere around 2018. No, I went to a music conference, well-known musician that had in Atlanta. A lot of big name gospel artists were there and whatnot. I just kind of say it. I mean, ain't no big thing. I mean, Trent Phillips had Atlanta ATL Music Collective. And I was telling them the next sound you're going to hear that's going to sweep the nation is a sound that merges gospel and CCM, Christian contemporary music. What that says, and not so... And it's artist said, this is why I said, ain't artists already doing that? Like Israel Houghton. I said, yeah. But it's gonna be more people that do it. And the merging of sounds, you know what I mean? Like technology, even that's how you create something new. Like you merge, a lot of inventions merge existing things to create something else. So when I said that, people, I don't know if people really got it, but some people did, some people didn't. But what happened after that was you saw a Maverick City Music sweep the country. Like they doing stadiums. And the reason why is because gospel is like, okay, that's more like black people. CCM is white people. Or other cultures. Like, and but when the sound, you merge that. One is known for the musicality, one is known for the lyrics. When you merge them two worlds, you got something big, you got something sweet, you got something unique. And Maverick City did a wonderful job. And what it does is, they've said Sunday morning is the most divided day in our nation. Because everybody go to their church. Everybody go to the blacks go over here to their church. These denominations gonna separate, go over here. It's the most separate, segregated day in the nation. That's what has been said. Because everybody got their way, and they feel like my way is the best way. My songs, my type of songs is the best. I can't sing none of that other stuff. You know what I mean? CCM think my way is the best. If you ain't singing these songs, so to merge them two is what's behind the thought of doing that is no. Everybody's music is important. Everybody's music is sound, is creative, and brings something to the table. We can have unity. So it's about unifying the culture, unifying the people, which also has a sound when it does that. So Maverick, they sell out stadiums back to back to back because I believe God got behind the idea, the thought of unity. That was the whole purpose of it. And now they can sell out stadiums back to back nights, go on tour, sell out arenas. And you haven't heard gospel music doing that in a long, long time. Selling out arenas?
Yeah.
You ain't heard that. They came and busted doors down and doing it.
Because you're right, when you change the sound or you have your own lane, you break the algorithm. That's how you break the algorithm, basically.
Exactly. So the next one is people who can tap in and say, all right, we got to get the streets back. Everybody else taking over the streets with different thoughts and ideas and songs. And so, okay, well, what you gonna do then? Yeah, everybody, if everybody making music that's glorifying killing and objectifying women and selling drugs and selling dope, then what else you gonna create to counteract that's already going on?
Because the kids are, they're gonna like music.
Yeah.
And they're, so why not have something to counteract that?
So that's why music with substance is coming back. Music, it has no choice but to, because people are gonna get tired of listening to songs where you feel more depressed when you hit play than when you did before. It's like, I was trying to actually come get some encouragement. You know what I mean? Some inspiration. After I did this, I mean, that's how our music used to be. Like you said, it was a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? And not to say no artist today ain't got that, because some very inspirational artists out there that's on the rap, country, pop, R&B. But again, that wave that's coming next is the people that can win the streets, but that has a message for the streets. Actually has a message for the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's gonna be the next wave. And if you can have the gospel, God associated with that music, merging them two worlds of trap and gospel, you got something.
Okay. Yeah, shout out 1K Few and again, DJ Shed Street on y'all go listen to it,
MC
man.
Live, Big Risk Game
right here on
inside.
DOZHATOLDYA Radio, man. And yeah, he said, Shed said, I'm gonna spin my boy Calvin. He can't wait. So, but you can do that right now, my brother. It's out there.
Yeah, my boy, what's happening, man?
Yeah, man. So let's. I want to get into just a little bit of what we're gonna talk about next, as far as and the topics before we take a break. It's based on the fact that a lot of the family structures and a lot of relationships are being highlighted for breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just great timing, because again, we were supposed to get you in a couple of weeks ago. We were battling, and we still battling. We can't forget that we're battling just an attack on our community.
Yeah.
But I think that it's an attack on our community psychologically, through food. Like the warfare is chemical, but is not necessarily chemical, as far as poisons that you can see. It's more so poisons that you can't see, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You talked about the frequencies. You talked about the fact that the music makes people, the music out makes us depressed. We just got through watching and talking about the movie They Cloned Tyrone, and to see some of those things, to see the satire mimic, the satire comes for something,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So to laugh at the satire and not, and ignore the message is asinine. And so it's just a great time. It's a great moment that you came up here for this, because you allow me to counteract the also thing that I'm gonna talk about later, which is what feeds the media now, is toxic. From toxicness in the black community. Really, I think is more so. It's not exclusively to our community, because when J-Lo gets into it, or I would say. it's almost, it's a little harder to name a lot of the mess in the white community. I mean, Johnny Depp just had a bad breakup, you know. So I talk about both. So I'm not really trying to make it a racial thing, but the reason that I make it a racial thing is because I love my people, right? So 11-year marriage, and you see an attack on the family dynamic in black culture. Let's talk about that, man. Like what? So you do you counsel?
Yeah, I do counsel people. I do counsel couples. I counsel families. Done a lot of premarital counseling sessions. But yeah, I think what I find, man, is communication in couples is we don't know how to communicate with each other.
Yes, sir.
We haven't been taught. A lot of times in our generation, the problem is a lot of us never saw a marriage model in front of us to show us how to be husbands and how to be wives. So a model is important. Anytime you want to emulate something or you want to learn, you have to have a model. Mm-hmm. If we had no model, then you already have to now learn, be intentional about, okay, I didn't get this growing up. I didn't see a 2-parent thriving marriage. So where am I going to get it from now? So I now got to find out, okay.
Didn't see it in the household, barely seen it on TV, really don't see it in the movies. So how am I going to learn? And what am I know? How am I know, you know?
Yeah.
So
you have to seek it out. You have to now seek it out. God is your first. God is our first,
compass,
teacher, a compass, roadmap, guide. Because everything is in the Bible that tells you how to be a wife and how to be a husband. That's number one. Then after you read the Bible, that's in my faith. I know everybody don't believe in my same faith, but we're not here to, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there just from a faith perspective. So that's what led my faith is in my understanding of how to be a husband is what the Bible told me about it.
Right.
A husband loves his wife like Christ loved the church. Christ gave everything for the church. A husband is to submit to his wife. Even that, a husband also to cover his wife, protect her, to prepare a place for her, to prepare a home for her, prepare a home for them. So if I'm going to be, that's my first example. Then you also have to go find somebody tangible, somebody that in everyday life you can see, all right, this brother right here. And I'm thankful I had a few models that I could see. Pastor David, who lived with my cousin / uncle / cousin, who lived, he's more like an uncle, but he's technically a cousin, but older, and he was my pastor. He lived right across the street from me. So I got a chance to see him caring for his family right across the street. And I got a chance to see my goddad, Drew, who had brother Drew, shout out to him. He had a great family. I still go down there to this day, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. He's calls me and puts me in check. You know what I mean? So, or he'll call to give me advice or have a listening ear. You need somebody that you can talk to get an understanding. So it's like we can get past these communication barriers, but we have to understand how we were brought up, how these behaviors are affecting our marriage. A lot of times we bring baggage into the marriage. So it's a few different things. We bring baggage into the marriage. No model, bringing baggage into the marriage from previous relationships you're not healed from. You saw your mama always cursing your daddy out, or you saw your daddy beating your mama, so you think that that's something you should do. So we bring in baggage, those things, unforgiveness. We have to deal on a spiritual level with all of the baggage before we get to a spouse. Like, I need to be healed. I need to have everybody I dealt with before this person out of my system. All soul ties, emotional ties to this person. Don't drag that into the marriage. Don't drag the way my mama and daddy do it into the marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because half the time we saw
something that wasn't flawed.
Yeah, we saw something flawed, and we just want to think that works. And it's take the good that did work, but the bad you throw out.
Yeah, so, man. Okay. You giving jewels now. Communication is definitely a problem that I always had with women and that kind of kept me single. I also have communication problems because of how I was raised, and being introverted, kind of just being orphaned at one point, just being kind of able to entertain myself. I come from a very big family. I'm not an only child, but I sometimes move like I am, but I'm also very connected to a lot of people, like a lot. And I take responsibility. I take that responsibility serious. My friends is my family, and my family is even that means everybody's my family, because the human race is my family at that point, because of the way I try to model my life, to treat everybody as a brother until they propose themselves as an enemy, that is. Mm-hmm. But it's just the communication barrier is one barrier that you would enter first, and then the model, me not having the model to look for, kind of gives me terrible traits to give off when I do get myself involved with a woman. So I'm learning myself, brother, and and again, that what are other things that you would say, like, that you would kind of like not necessarily model your life from, but that kind of just feeds, because you talked about someone that was older, but what about in your own peer group? I know we do have a strong friend base. So do you ever confide in your friends as far as something that they can more so relate to, because our older elders didn't have to deal with social media. Mm-hmm.
And I do have a few friends that I confide in, like when I'm going through different things, because I've been married 11 years, but it has not been easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to paint the picture like it's been just so easy. But at the same time, I don't preach that marriage should be hard either. See, some people think that marriage should be all about suffering and just you have to put up with all this kind of stuff. And the thing about it, man, with marriage, you have to make the right selection the first time. I think a lot of times we get married for many different reasons that are not the right reason to get married. And therefore, you find out later and you're ready to leave. So the first thing you do when you're seeking a wife or a husband is you have to ask the Lord, is this the one for me? And you have to really, go about it from a spiritual standpoint, because the Bible teaches us that fathers provide houses and inheritance, but a good wife comes from the Lord. If you listen at what that proverb is saying, it's saying basically God gives you a wife. So if you let God give you your wife, you're going to have a thriving marriage. But half the time what we do is we go just pick somebody because they physically attractive, or they make a certain amount of money, or, I just see this person.
We live here.
We live here.
Or we work
here.
It's
convenient. It's reasons that are not enough to keep you married for the long haul. Because if it ain't built on, for one, God's, choice for you, it's going to be hard. Y'all might not even be compatible. You might not even like the same things. You might even like that person outside of y'all going on dates and stuff. So you have to kind of get to the point where, all right, who, selection. So am I equally yoked with this person? Do we believe the same thing? Are we going in the same direction? Will this person support me? Will this person be my friend? My partner? Can I lean on them? Can I trust them? Compatibility, chemistry. All selection is so key in marriage and staying together. So I say start there first, and then we can talk about the healing and therapy, all that. Work through your issues, counseling, therapy. Go to it before you get married. Get that stuff out of your system and out of your spirit before you get married. Go sit on somebody's couch before you get married and deal with all your trauma, your emotional traumas.
And the baggage.
And then I've just preached a message recently called "Where Is Home," and what I found out, and part of me studying for that, to deliver that message, I talked about families and marriage. I talked about, we talk about home. Home is where you're from. You know what I mean? Home is like, okay, you from Duval. That's where Jacksonville is your home. Atlanta is my home. Your marriage is a home. Your house you actually go to every day, that's a home.
So your spouse is your home.
You yourself are a home. In terms of what's in you, like all the gifts, they're housed in you. All your talents, your abilities, your skills. The Spirit of God is in you, housed in you. You yourself. You have a soul, you have a body, you have a spirit. All these have a home inside your body. You are a home.
Take care of that home.
You got to take care of this home. Like, I can't tear this home down, like, with everything around, like, in terms of all the things out here that it come to tear this house right here down, my physical house. I got to exercise, eat right. I got to take care of my marital home, my marriage, because that's a home. When we experience so many marital problems, like 41, so my studies led me to find that almost 50% of the marriages that start out end in divorce. You got all of these people over 50 divorcing now. So that means half their life, now they starting over. So what is that saying to us? These are people married together, but still have not found home yet. They haven't found their sense of belonging. They haven't found, or either they had it and lost it, or they're still searching. Can you imagine, like, you in a marriage? Some people stay married 20 years, and then after the kids go to college, they'll do it then. But they'll stay married. So you've been married all that time and still haven't found your place. Still don't feel found at home. You ain't feel at home. And what comes against us having home? And it's peace. Anytime you strip away peace, love, joy, acceptance, and respect and honor from the relationship, you are destroying that home. You are destroying it. So then now that person's going to go out and search for it elsewhere. Like, they can't find the peace. It's supposed to be an abundance of peace in the marriage. You're supposed to have more than enough. You're supposed to be bathing in it. I can't, you know what I mean? I got so much, I can give it away. But yet these marriages are void of peace of mind, like peace with each other, friendship. And so in turn, they go find it in other places. Some people find it at a bar on Monday Night Football with their homies. Some people find it with another relationship on the side with a side piece. Some people find it because my side piece ain't fussing all the time. She ain't, you know what I mean? She ain't fussing. She ain't giving me no headache and all the blues. And
some people find it in their work.
Some people find it in their work. So now, he worked too much. He always working. He don't never come home and take care of me and the kid. He's peaceful in that place because you nagging and fussing at the house. And why so the Bible says it's better for a man to dwell on a rooftop than in a house with a nagging woman. That's what the Bible says. So the Bible said it is better to dwell on a rooftop in solitude than in a house with a person that's nagging you all the time, always arguing and fussing. Want to argue.
Yeah. You want to argue. So find your peace.
Find your peace, man. Give that person peace. So I'm just basically saying, to round it all off, be the source of that person's greatest peace. And then a lot of these marriages will stay together. Be the source of that person's greatest joy, not the biggest subtractor of it. Then these marriages will stay together. And the families won't be broken up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I gotta give a quick horn to that, man, because that was a jewel right there, man. Give more joy than heartache, please.
Yep.
And like, folks don't feel at home and a lot of times, and they do feel that it's a responsibility. I know a lot of a few it's a responsibility, but I am honored to have friends that are married. RC Dan, I've been married for feel like 20 years now, almost about 16. I think he going on, and he was part of the show. He part of the show, so it was just again having a married perspective while we talking about all this kind of crazy stuff, or sometimes we would be talking about my crazy life and dating and stuff like that. I need that every now and then, man. And like you said, I need a model every now and then so I can look at and draw inspiration from. But also, like you said, find somebody that you can kind of talk to and counsel before you get married. I never really heard too many people say that. Like as far as don't wait until the problem gets rotten.
Yeah.
Basically build on strong foundations through counseling, through selection. I'm taking my notes now, you know, and then we're gonna watch it back. We're gonna have the notes, man. So you need a show or something like, man. You got what you got going on, man. Well, pull up the people, man.
You need to talk after this.
How can them folks get more of this information, man?
Man, y'all can follow me. I'm on social media. My Instagram is I am Calvin, CALVIN, Willis, WILLIS. Follow me there. I got a lot of inspirational content. I want that to be a place where you go for inspiration. Facebook, I'm Calvin L. Willis, and YouTube is just my name, Calvin Willis. So follow me there. I have a website too, CalvinWillis.com. I did write a book. You can order my book from Amazon. It's called Reconciling Church Culture and Kingdom Culture, a catalyst for Renaissance and Revival. So a catalyst for Renaissance. What's Renaissance? Renaissance is a cultural rebirthing. We need the whole culture to change. Mm-hmm. And revival is like dead things that come back to life. So you add them two together, like we need a revival. We need a cultural rebirthing in every culture that influences people, family, media, business, education, arts and entertainment, and government. We need a cultural rebirthing in all of those. Mm-hmm. Meaning a change, a do-over, a reset, in innovation.
Because the principles that are in place are not what they say they are.
Exactly.
You know, unfortunately. And a lot of folks, you know, we just kind of just throw Band-Aids over it, mm-hmm. and kind of, you know, throw some sheetrock over it a little bit. the holes that we have in our you know, just moral foundations as far as a country, like you said, or family.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Stop trying to cover up them things and get a revival, a reset.
A reset. And you know what? Shout out to my wife, Tanisha Willis, because I want to put some honor on my marriage because we've been through a lot. We've weathered a lot of storms. And I feel like she does an awesome job with the kids and raising them and being there, being a responsible first individual, but then a responsible mom and wife. Like, so I just want to say shout out to her. You know, shout out to my wife, shout out to my kids, Adia, Calvin, and Joshua. Just 3 treasures, 3 masterpieces that God gave me, 3 gifts that I love, you know, and I love all of them. So just want to give that shout out, say their name type thing, you know what I'm saying, while I'm on here. Cause
real quick on some Dion stuff, man. Dion rank his kids, man. You rank your kids?
I ain't never ranked them, man. But I know their gifts. I know what they strong at.
Yeah.
So it's cool though, man. Oh, speaking of, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, I don't know, man. We got so much. We like, you just said something so crazy about said individuals. You got to be strong as individuals first. Dion is definitely a model for people. I hope people watching to see more than just a coach, because I want you. He's a father. Coaching is just like a type of fathering. You get to father kids that ain't yours and show them a father's love. That's what's happening. You see what I'm saying? And
he's a therapist. He's a father. He's a motivator.
Yeah.
He's an author. He's doing it all in live.
Businessman.
He's a businessman. We already know he's a hell of an athlete. You know, we already know he's a leader. We know that he's a winner.
Yeah.
But watching him do it, you know, in real time, it's remarkable, man. It's very uplifting. Mm-hmm. Had us all up Saturday, 2:00 in the morning. You know, like watching
right,
Colorado.
We was up, right? And for me, it was 3 because I don't
first
go to sleep
Colorado
right after it's
State.
over.
Right? It's like we up like cause just even the game being
Bruh.
what type of game it was.
On the edge of your seat.
It gave the game just gave roller coaster rides, man. You know,
Bruh.
so it was like, yes,
Bro.
I'm enjoying this show. I made a comment earlier in the week, and I'm gonna stand on this, man. I feel like Deion's impact, especially, you know, in a 4-year term sense, the impact that he can have in 4 years, because I wasn't really always on the side of the bigger platform that he needed, the bigger platform, because I don't feel like he needed it, but the platform might have needed him. And I'm gonna say it like this: in 4-year terms, he can have a bigger platform and impact to America's society than Barack Obama. And I'm gonna stand on that as a hot take because for some reason, just the way that football, the barrier racially that football, you know, breaks down, that's kind of one of the better things about football, because there's a lot of dynamics about football, an American pastime that's very barbaric, that's very distracting. It kind of like eats at me that from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they got me locked in. Then I do fantasy football, so it's like a whole week thing for the next 4 months. And, you know, it's an engulfing sport that a lot of we all are enamored, glamored, and in the trance. And it's a lovely one, especially when they put something like Deion in front of us.
Yeah.
It's like shoot, if they feeding us, you know, for one, they feeding us inspiration, but if they doing that and got another plan, you know what I'm saying, then I you know, bless us or whatever, God bless us. But man, like I said, I know that to be locked in on what's going on right now is very important, you know what I'm saying, for me. And like you said, just a model. I ain't never really looked at it like that. Like, okay, he's a like you said, some folks will say role model, but again, he's a model for the fight back on nepotism.
Yeah.
The fight back on racial oppression in PWIs. And he represents a lot of change, a lot of how you say revival,
Renaissance.
Renaissance.
Revival. You right? Yeah, Renaissance and revival.
Okay.
Because, like you said, what we're seeing with Deion coming to college sports, he is bringing a renaissance, a cultural rebirthing, a new culture. He's establishing a new culture. The culture used to be college kids. For one, let's go back to Jackson State. HBCUs didn't get much notoriety because it was thought of or perceived that HBCU athletes were not as of a high caliber as D1 NCAA, right? That was the perception. And so you wouldn't get opportunities, and even in terms of like advertising, syndication, all the kind of revenue that comes from, you know, selling your all of your gear, your athletic, you know what I'm saying, sports apparel and all that different kind of stuff. So Deion came and showed you, he basically came and disrupted the whole league and got rid of at least 70-some players on Colorado, at more than half the team. He got rid of, or he allowed them, you know, waived them, let them go or whatever. And brought in all these players from Jackson and other places, small community colleges and all kind of places, brought them together, and now they're playing excellent football. And he's showing you, breaking the narrative, or oh man, you know, if you come from this place, then you probably not as good, or you probably D1. Not as up to, you know.
Shedeur Sanders' first game from coming from HBCU to D1 and playing the runners-up in college football championship, he throws for 500 yards. And then what this was just the third game, we just watched him drive from 98 yards to tie the game up and go into overtime and then have poison overtime because them boys was not backing down. They had their game of the year by facing Dion, you know, and then even their coach. But, you know, he said a few things that kind of he had to rile his team up to step up to the plate. But like Dion say, it ain't really no knocking the next man because he had a job to do as well. But again, that's that impact, and this is Colorado and Colorado State, the middle of the country. Now, it was an argument of leaving HBCUs, you know, but now that you see HBCU players play in the D1 and that change and that narrative is starting to change because of that, I see I see what he may have saw. I see his vision, and I understand. And of course, everybody. It may seem like most folks are just blindly supporting Colorado, but again, we are Deion Sanders fans. You know, just because of him as a person. So it's like wherever he kind of go, these folks are going, and then he's going there and doing this. Okay, now you know what I'm saying. You know, way more folks are tapping in. So yeah, man, it was game, man. That boy came back from that 2-yard line, man.
Man, that game was. I said it was one of the best games I ever witnessed. Period. I'm talking about NFL, NCAA. It was the best football game I have ever witnessed. And that's just I stand on that. Like it's just one of the best ones. What would you say, Dame, to the people that say, well, Deion, you know, he left Jackson State and he's now generating all this revenue for Colorado, but now Jackson State is missing out. What would you say to those people? Because I'm on social media. I see a lot. I see some different commentary going around, and people had different opinions. What's your opinion?
Well, they're saying Deion didn't have an opportunity to coach, you know, PWIs before Jackson State. So he kind of used that and catapulted from that and sold them because he said that he would bring more notoriety over years and that he would not go to PWIs because he was going to make a statement that we didn't need them relatively. But like I said, after seeing him, I'm watching him now as a father, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I see the master plan is so beautiful when you have a number of boys, and even like he got all his boys involved, even his daughter, his mom in the picture, you know, and he's leading but using his family as a leverage to make sure the next generation of his families are set, even more than they already set. It's like they already, you know, Deion Sanders kids, but now Shedeur Sanders kids. You know, Shedeur Sanders kids off of what the performance that he's, you know, now is automatically first round. But when coming out of Jackson State, it might not have been that. So again, sometimes you have to be selfish as a father. Aren't we all? Like, you know, I don't really see him, you know, it's not that he maliciously, the intent is malicious, but at the same time, he's bringing a lot of other families with him, and again, in 4 years of the platform that Colorado, man, they sold out for the rest of the year. Highest football ticket in college football at the moment. You know what I'm saying, over Alabama and Ohio State, and add in that game, Colorado State versus Colorado, which it was on in the middle of the Saturday morning when most folks is either asleep or in a club somewhere, is the most watched game in college football history. And this is, like you said, this is the first 3 games of a recruited team that he pulled through from all over.
He put together.
He put together. So it's like, man, with all that, to look at all that, not that we forgetting about Jackson State, but also as a FAMU, as a Rattler, I'm like, whoa.
Right.
But I'm just also interested to see what this will spark. Who's going to be the next guy? Unfortunately, Ed Reed didn't work out with Ed Reed over at BCC, but who's going to shake the culture up and bring it, come back, because it's not like the HBCUs didn't get that light now. Folks should see that they can kind of still go to these schools, but unfortunately, Jackson State and in the state of Mississippi was also, they go through a lot as a state, and also because of the country's the country's foundations. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I really, it's hard to hate on it. I was one point seeing those factors and was like, yeah, that is kind of messed up. But again, it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
And that good just outweighs so much of the impact that was there before. And he needed that platform. I mean, I want that platform. I would like to have a higher platform than this platform, and I'm seeking that. I'm preparing for that. But again, if I have the opportunity to do that and also put my family into it and on another level, oh my God, do it.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
And it's like, man, to your point, with what he's doing, you almost have to wonder if he planned it himself the whole time. Like the way it's unfolding, you almost wonder, man, did you strategically put all these moves together?
Yeah.
It's like it's so masterful in how it's unfolding.
One son running back the touchdown, the other son throwing the touchdown. And then he's still, with all the attention that he has to guard his family now, because it's not, now you have to protect, your sons, even more, but you still representing all these other kids, that's having bigger opportunities on your team and the other team. Come on, man.
Man, come on. So my opinion on that is basically, man, that, like you said, it's a bigger accomplishment in place, and the move that he made still helps Jackson State residually. It still helps them in the long run, in the now and in the long run. Mm-hmm. And basically, it's a bigger story too, because it's like everybody thought that, not everybody, a lot of people thought that, HBCUs, he's changing the whole narrative. He's debunking the whole myth within the culture that these players can't do this and these players can't go there. No, D1 players can choose. Players who were going to be recruited by D1 can choose to go to HBCU and choose to play for them and get recruited to the NFL. No, HBCU player can go to a PWI and still ball. But basically, I like the fact that the statement he's really making with all this, he's making a statement. And that statement is, none of our black HBCU players are inferior to anyone else. Our schools are not inferior. Our staff, our education, our curriculum, none of those things are inferior to a PWI school.
Yeah.
And, that's just the end. That's just that. He's showing you and he's proving it. And we all knew it anyway, but some people have to be shown more than taught to. So, I really like what he's doing, man. It's great to watch, him be able to coach both of his sons on the field and impact so many lives of other people. You got to think, he has all kinds. So what he's doing right now, you got hip hop, you got rap, you got all kind of cultures coming to see.
The Rock was. You
got The Rock. You got people in all kinds of industries coming to be influenced by him, who is obviously has a confession that he's a believer in God. He has faith. He's a man of faith. So now all of these cultures are being influenced by one man who chose to walk a different path, that chose to walk in his confidence. that chose to walk in his true self.
Yeah.
And so now you got everybody's coming to see what's gonna happen next. Oh man, you know what I mean? And all of that, man, I'm gonna tell you, God is in it. You know what I mean? Dion, God is in all of it. And so I think Dion has an anointing on him, which is that an anointing is just a super ability, it's like God putting his super on our natural and making it something extraordinary. That's what you're seeing play out. And because he acknowledges God, I feel like because he is silent, he's very vocal about his faith, very vocal about always showing honor that God is just giving them more and more blessings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
definitely.
I think they're going to do great this year.
Right. And if nobody expected they 3-0. And so now it's the time that we're going to see the attack because he's going to face the heavy load of the schedule. And we've yet to see them lose, but I'm sure that Dion's going to handle the loss. Can't wait to see how he handles the loss in the class that, he exemplifies.
Did you see how he hugged Horn? Was it AJ Horn?
Yeah.
After he messed up on a play, he talked to him.
Jimmy Horn.
Jimmy Horn. And then what did he do? He went back out and did 10 times better, made a play.
Like you said, watching the game, like you said, it's a whole lot going on in one game, man. Watching that one game is a whole lot going on, but they had 9.3 million viewers, man.
With the Titans, boy.
I'm saying, ESPN's 5th most watched college football game ever. Excuse me. But again, a record, nonetheless. And again, they may face a few downs in the next couple of weeks, but it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it because they got a player that's knocked out now. It's time. It's going to be time to attack. And we also, whenever there's time when you're at your supposedly weakness, you can take that time to scope out the enemies and the opposition and those that come to throw their mud. So let's just watch community and let's pay attention to what's going on because we're gonna see those that throw mud at when he starts to not saying that it not wishing the failures upon him, but when they come, we shall see who throws their mud and reveals themselves as the enemy. So again, man, thank you for coming through, man, and just being a part of the show, giving that model and giving us jewels on how to seek out that model and the counseling. And again, I think that you should continue to build in this media space as far as and what you do, as far as just motivational. It could start with social media, but definitely YouTube is ultimately there to spread. And you have to, like you said, you have to be able to counteract some of all this other toxicity that's already out here. So whether you're doing it in your music or you're doing it in your media or with your book, continue on, brother. You know what I'm saying? And you always got a place right here to kind of come and, bless us with your presence. So, come back, man, and all. We can always get into it. Plenty to talk about.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me again, bro.
And again, this is Mr. C's, a.k.a. Calvin Willis, a.k.a. Pastor Willis.
Yep, Pastor Willis.
And he just came to anoint us and give us. I definitely see. I didn't think about it like how you said, but God is using Dion as, and the fact that he's drawing all these people to him, it's like a beacon.
Mm-hmm. It's a light. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right. Definitely is, man.
And that could happen for any one of us, That's what it kind of tells us. It kind of gives that motivation that, okay, man, he changed the world, whatever, and it's, he been through what he been through, and I could do it too. So shoot, I'm out here trying to change my world with my platform, man. Dozha told you. Number 83, man. We still out here. Wait till we get to that 100, man. Before I let you go, just once again, tell them the social media, and let's pull up that book one more time. And we're going to take a quick break, everybody, and play some music. Check on the game. I know there's a game going on. I know, and I'm going to keep y'all up really late because it's already 9 o'clock. I'm not going to play too much music. We're going to try and get out of here before 10 o'clock at least, around 10-ish. Because we still got, man, we got to talk about all this craziness that done happened, man. There's a lot of toxic stuff, man. And unfortunately, it's kind of addicting, man. We like to watch it and indulge every now and then here on the platform. So,
Man, but real quick, man, just want to give a shout out to one of my mentors, friends, my pastor, Apostle Brian Meadows of Embassy City, Embassy Church. If you're out there listening and you're in the Atlanta area, you need a good place to go, to be spiritually and personally developed with a group of a community that's all about uplifting each other while loving God and loving people. Come be a part. You know what I'm saying? And on Sundays at 11 o'clock, 4665 Macklin Road, Powder Springs. That's the new location. Come be a part of that. But you can find me on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as Calvin Willis. Instagram, I am Calvin Willis. Facebook, Calvin Willis. And I do have a book on Amazon right now. You can go get it. It's Reconciling Church Culture and Kingdom Culture, a catalyst for renaissance and revival. We've got to see a cultural rebirth and happen in our nation, in our country. And it starts with us. We have to be the agents of change that's willing to bring it about. So go check that out on Amazon. It's really for those who have given up on church, who have given up on ministry and said, look, I'd just rather go do something else. This book is for you. It is for those who have,
I can relate.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it'd be for somebody who's like, man, I don't know about the church stuff. I don't know if I should even, some people was a part of it, got away from it. Some people are a part of it, but going through frustration and want to see change even within the church. That this is a book for you. Go check it out. It's an easy read, and it's on Amazon right now.
Okay, Reconciling Church Culture and Kingdom Culture by Calvin Willis. How long did it take you to write that book,
Man, it took me, I started in like November of 2018 and I released it like November 2019. And the crazy story is I took a job in DC and me and Sweezy was roommates.
Yeah.
And I wrote the book, the majority of the book I wrote while in DC. And I was away from Atlanta, away from my family. I took a job up there in DC and the Lord just started inspiring me to just write. Every day I would just write and just get in a quiet place. And it was right before COVID happened. After COVID happened, everybody went home. All the churches, the businesses, most people shut down. The whole world was shut down almost. So it was really everything reset. If you want to know what God was saying in order to be prepared for a world post-pandemic, a post-pandemic world, you need to read this book. You really need to go read it. You need to read it twice. You need to see what God is saying for us as we transition during these times.
Yes, sir. CalvinWillis.com. Follow him at I am Calvin Willis. I know him as Mr. C's. Shout out Jimmy Gravity. Shout out to DJ Sweezy, my brother. Yeah, man, you did. Go, y'all redid. Y'all redid the roommate thing. The prodigal roommate returns. You the prodigal roommate.
Prodigal roommate.
But yeah, man. We gonna go check that book out, man.
Shout out to all my FAMU people, man. Shout out to everybody. If I start naming names, but Salam and everybody, and Caleb and James, Rocco, everybody. Shout out to all my people from everywhere. From even Fellowship Church of Praise. Shout out to the Rozier family, because I never would have made the FAMU if it wasn't for them. My college my high school senior year, I went to a school in Panama City, and that changed my whole life. Fellowship Church of Praise. With Pastor David and Vernette Rozier. Love them.
And they were Rattlers?
They were Rattlers. And their kids. And they from Tallahassee, from Panama City, and had, all kind of, so that's a whole nother story, but I'd love to tell it one day.
Yeah, man. You write another, it look like you're gonna write another book. But yeah, man, thank you for the inspiration, man, because I want to get on my author game, and I was like, okay, how do I get away, and how do I kind of find my focus? And again, that came right before COVID, so you kind of got away and put in that work right on time. God bless you right on time, man, and God gonna keep blessing you, and thank you for blessing you with our presence, man. We're gonna take a quick break. We got Calvin Willis, man. Thank you once again. The Dozha ToldyA podcast number 83. We'll be right back, man. Still got more of Diddy. Y'all go check out the Love album. This is a great album. It's just a transition. I ain't really talk about the topics, so I got some topics coming up. We're gonna talk about the fact what's going on with Remy Ma on the rap battle stage. Glad we did talk about Dion already, but Jeezy done filed for divorce, and like you said, 50% of relationships end in divorce. But I just showed everyone, through my friend, and I have other married friends, that there is black love, there is positivity, and there's just a path towards it, and models, you know what I'm saying, that you can look at. But we still got to talk about all this craziness, so we'll be right back, man. Appreciate y'all, and appreciate our special guests. And shout out everybody that's listening right now. However you listening, on Facebook, on YouTube, on the Mitzler app. Make sure you follow us on all platforms, DOZHATOLDYA, and we'll be right back, man. You dig.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dame Dozha. If you're looking to get your interview done or be a guest host on our podcast, hit us up at DOZHATOLDYA.COM. Bump what you heard. Remember who told you? It's DOZHATOLDYA.